I'm sorry to have kept you waiting, but now I am back with another edition of Chris Black's NJPW Report. If you are a new listener, welcome. Allow me to introduce myself. I am the natural Chris Black of the Saturday Night SlamCasters podcast, independent professional wrestler, and everybody's favorite narcissist. And on today's show, I will be going over everything that went down at the Dominion show. This event showcased 5 matches, the main event being for the vacated IWGP World Heavyweight Championship between Kazuchika Okada and Shingo Takagi. Of course, unfortunately, Will Ospreay had to vacate the title due to injury. There's no telling when he will be back as of right now, but hopefully it will be sooner rather than later. But before we get to that main event, let's go to the opening of Dominion. Himuro Takahashi came out at the start of the show saying that he will be back to challenge El Desperado for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. Bro, I think you just spoiled the results of that match with that challenge. But anyway, moving on to the very first match, we had a 10-man tag, Bullet Club members Evil, Chase Owens, Yujiro Takahashi, Ishimori, and El Phantasmo up against Tanahashi and Chaos members Goto, Yoshi-Hashi, Sho, and Ishii. Pretty basic 10-man tag. Entertaining. It had its spots. There's a lot of Texas Championship title talk with Chase Owens. That must be a thing now. He's been touting that thing around for the last couple of months. Hopefully we'll get some insight as to why they're putting so much emphasis on that title. But he starts off with Tanahashi. The baby faces get a little bit of shine on Chase Owens. Yoshi gets to beat up on Yujiro Takahashi. Now, you know I love that. Anyone beating on Yujiro's got my attention. But of course, Bullet Club being heels, they do heel shit. They cheat to cut off the faces. They they get in this very interesting back rake spot where you have ELP, Ishimori, Chase Owens just doing back rakes on Yoshi-Hashi. Poor Yoshi. But you know, that's my boy. Speaking of my boy, Evil is also still my guy. And I still enjoy his work, more so than when he was just the leader of darkness or whatever the hell the gimmick was. Looks like him and Ishii may be putting in some work together in the near future. Chaos seems to have Bullet Club's number during this match, and they work very well together as a unit. There's a nice sequence with Ishii and Evil. Again, I gotta see these two work one-on-one in the near future. They did what we call in wrestling a waterfall spot, where everyone kind of one by one gets in and lands a big move on one another. It ends up with Ishimori and ELP trying to put Sho out of commission, and in order to stop the Chaos members from helping him out, Dick inserts himself, as Dick does, and Ishimori hits Sho with the Bloody Cross and gets the pin for his team. Afterwards, there's a post-match beatdown on the never openweight champs Goto, Yoshi-Hashi, and Ishii by Evil, Yujiro Takahashi, and Dick Togo. Looks like it's going to be those three challenging for the never openweight 6-man championships at some point in the future. In the next match, we had LIJ members Naito, Bushi, and Sanada taking on Suzuki-gun members Zack Sabre Jr., Taichi, and Daoki. Naito, he's one hell of a character. He takes down the ref in a playful way at the start of the match, like the ref was trying to single leg take him down, but Naito got the best of him. You know, Taichi has just this throat choke that he does. He just grabs the guy's throat and starts choking him, that Kevin Kelly playfully calls the Greco-Roman throat hold, which is not quite like a chokehold. The Greco-Roman throat hold is legal, apparently. Hey, I'll take that. Doesn't take long before this fight goes to the floor. Dangerous Techers, if I didn't mention it earlier, I'm pretty sure I didn't, they defeated the Gorillas of Destiny for their tag team titles on night 1 on the road to Dominion. So congratulations for the Dangerous Techers regaining their championships. Maybe we'll be getting Dangerous Tekkers versus Naito and Sonata in the near future based on this match that we've seen. Zack Sabre Jr. and Sonata seem to have rekindled their rivalry a little bit during this match. I remember when those two were going at it for the Rev Pro championship that I thought Sonata was actually going to take from Zack Sabre Jr., but that never happened. Zack reverses a skull land and attempts to pin Sonata with a European clutch, but Sonata stops it, traps his arms, and gets the pin. Very nice six-man tag. Again, hopefully we will get a good match out of this with the Dangerous Tekkers taking on Sonata and Naito. Zack, his old school Zack, starts tantruming in the corner, but eventually the Dangerous Tekkers does get into the face of Naito and Sonata, obviously discussing tag team title business. I like how you can feel the tension because these two teams are in each other's face, but no one's going to actually swing yet because, they want the titles. This is another reason why New Japan is just a step above all others. It's that tension that you get between these two teams in the ring because you want to see them go at it. They're not going to give it to you just yet, but I'm pretty sure we'll get lots of previews in the road to the next shows. All right, third match of the evening, we have the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship with El Desperado defending his title against Roppongi 3K member Yo. I've been very impressed by El Desperado's run thus far. I believe this is the first singles match between these two in a long time. Yo must be learning from Okada because he pulls that one spot where he gets a clean break on the ropes, goes to hit him, but instead just taps him like, it's okay, buddy. El Desperado, not so much. He didn't let him get away with not striking him. There's a bit of a feeling out period between these two men. Both men looking great during this match. They were pulling out some pretty basic spots, but the moves were very crisp. Again, the devil's in the details. These guys, yes, they were basic spots, but they executed them perfectly, and it made sense. ELP throws a bucket in the ring, distracting the referee, and absolutely just nails Yo in the knee with the chair, just destroys his knee. Working over the surgically repaired knee, I see he's been studying the Quicksilver method. If a man can't stand, he can't fight. If you got that reference, you're okay in my book. Yo, however, is not a dead fish. He keeps fighting back as a good babyface should do. This was just the epitome of a great babyface match. Yo was fighting from underneath, obviously at a disadvantage now that the heel had just absolutely destroyed his knee with a chair. But he turns things around and starts actually working on El Dorado's leg. But unfortunately, the damage has been done, and El Desperado finally gets the win with the Pinche Loco, and he's out 1, 2, 3. Great title defense. As Yo is laying out, Sho comes down just as ELP and Ishimori runs out, and Sho protects Yo. ELP and Ishimori is out on some business because they challenged Roppongi 3K for those junior heavyweight tag team titles. And in a surprise twist, Ishimori makes a separate challenge to El Desperado. Lots of interesting things happening in the junior heavyweight division. I absolutely cannot wait until this tag team match, and I really can't wait to this one-on-one match with Ishimori versus El Desperado. Fourth match of the evening, or morning based on if you were in the States. Jeff Cobb taking on Kota Ibushi. Man, what a match. These two were just going at it during the Road to Dominion shows. This feud has been well built, and I was so excited for this match. They wasted absolutely no time going right to strikes, slugging it out. And because Will Ospreay is out, it's really up to the rest of the United Empire to keep this faction alive. Jeff Cobb is representing the faction well, as he's just been on a tear recently. After a little bit of back and forth fighting during this match, Jeff Cobb's just start dominating Ibushi. Cobb is just doing his best to bring out Murder Ibushi. He just wants, I call him Dark Ibushi, is when Ibushi just becomes devoid of all expression and just goes out for blood. Jeff Cobb was trying to bring that out of him. Brave man. The commentators, I feel like, almost spoiled the finish, saying this is a number one contender like match situation. So I kind of got the feeling that Ibushi was winning this match. Nothing against Cobb. Cobb winning this match would have been great. But yeah, spoiler alert, Ibushi wins. But this match is a lot slower paced than I imagined it to be. But I was still very engaged with this match based on the sheer just brutality that Jeff Cobb was raining down on Ibushi. This match was working towards either a Kamigoye or a Kabagoye, which was been built up since Ibushi's loss to Ospreay, where Jeff Cobb just nailed him with it. Speaking of Jeff Cobb and his strength, he gives Ibushi an F-1000, as the commentators said, as he just helicoptered Ibushi up in the air and he landed on the mat with a thud. Ibushi was able to counter a tour of the islands, which has been probably the most devastating move in New Japan. They gave some stats during this match about how many wins Jeff Cobb has gotten. And I know I've said that back in one of my previous reviews when he was winning a lot of their tag matches with that tour of the islands. But anyway, Ibushi counters the tour of the islands, nails a Kamigoye for only a 2 count. Only a 2 count because, you know, the pad was still up, so he hadn't dropped that knee pad yet. So he pulls down the pad. After a series of reversals, Cobb nails a Kabagoye, but he's slow to capitalize. Just laid out after he delivered it. He had nothing left, could not go for the pin, and when he finally did, it was only a 2 count. After a little bit of more back and forth, Ibushi finally nails Cobb with the second Kamigoye for the pin and the win. This match definitely didn't disappoint. Both these guys worked their asses off. I really like how even in victory, the winner is often lying on their backs after the match, after enduring such a very physically exhausting match with their opponent. Kevin Kelly foreshadows Ibushi having the first shot at the new champion, which is up now. All right, so for the vacated IWGP World Heavyweight title, they selected Kazuchika Okada and Shingo Takagi to be the combatants, probably because both men had matches scheduled against the champ Will Ospreay at the time. So basically they were both co-number 1 contenders, so it kind of makes sense that these two go at it for the vacated title. Boy, talk about foreshadowing. So the commentary starts putting Okada over as one of the best. Had one of the most prestigious title runs, I believe 700 some days, most victories in that building, Osaka Joe Hall. So they were really building up Okada. So I'm like, yeah, he's not going to win this match. And spoiler alert, Shingo Takagi won. But Shingo looking great. He's just been in the zone. Shingo's been doing some of his best work in the last year, which I can't even say. I mean, when you think about it, I don't remember Shingo really having any bad matches, so it's his time. Match starts out kind of slow, some good old chain wrestling, so we're going to get a little slow build towards the finale of this match. When it does pick up, each guy just tries to out-muscle each other. Shingo, clearly with the strength advantage, starts to go into work on Okada's back, which has been a target of a lot of his opponents. But Okada just doesn't go down easily. He fights back, but Shingo is just exploiting that problematic back of Okada. Okada still going for the money clip, locks it on for a first time, and is trying to put Shingo out like he did at the New Japan Cup. No, G1, at the G1. Shingo escapes and he breaks out the torture rack. It's fitting, I guess, with Okada having a bad back. Torture rack, that's good strategy. Okada is just working his hardest to combat Shingo's vicious strikes. That man, I can feel his strikes as I'm watching it. Shingo takes a nasty looking corkscrew tombstone. It looked like he landed awkwardly on his head, but hopefully there's no injury coming out of that. Shingo responds by nailing a Made in Japan on Okada on the outside of the ring. That shit just looked super stiff. Shingo completely knocks the sweat off of Okada with a lariat in the corner. Like, Jesus Christ, I think he knocked all of his sweat off. As we hit the 30-minute mark, Okada nails a second tombstone, still holds that wrist, sets up the Rainmaker, but then gets caught with a left-handed lariat by Shingo. Both men down again. Shingo be coming with them blows. They get up to their knees and start striking each other. The match starts to build towards the conclusion. Okada delivers not one but two Rainmakers. Shingo is able to avoid a third, nails one of his own, follows that up with a devastating pumping bomber, and he just gave it to him. Finally gets him up and delivered a Last of the Dragon for the win. This match was, as expected, just amazing. Shingo and Okada are great at telling a well-developed story in the ring. I feel like New Japan made the correct choice in crowning Shingo Takagi as the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. It was a well-deserved win. But, of course, we know what's going to happen. Ibushi comes out after the celebration, and he officially challenges Shingo Takagi. So that's what we have. Looking forward to Shingo Takagi defending against Kota Ibushi. That it's going to be difficult to call. Although I don't think they're going to have Shingo Takagi lose his very first title defense. So not looking good for Ibushi, but I don't know. Stranger things have happened. I guess we'll get to that when we get to that. But let's start taking this home. I want to thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Chris Black's NJPW Report. If you've liked my review, be sure to hit that like button. That's like showing your appreciation. But if you really want to show your appreciation, why don't you go ahead and hit that red subscribe button, and you are alerted when new episodes are posted. You can find me on all social media, on Instagram and Facebook at The Natural Chris Black, on Twitter at @the_natural_CB. And as always, don't forget to show the Saturday Night SlamCasters some love. Check out our podcast that is released every second and fourth Saturday of the month, as well as the Saturday Night SlamCasters YouTube channel. Be sure to like and subscribe those videos as well. And go over to Facebook and join the Saturday Night SlamCasters group, as well as the SlamCasters page. Links are in the description. Once again, I want to thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Come get slammed.